This is your girl Dee Dee, and I'm here to tell you part two of my experience with my second child. Well, this experience was very short but painful, and I have my second child, which was a boy. I woke up one Monday morning, and I never forget. I woke up one Monday morning around about maybe after 4, somewhere there, 5 o'clock, somewhere there, and I went to the kitchen because I was feeling thirsty. So I went to the kitchen to get me some water, and I drank some ice water. After drinking ice water, I went back to my room and I could not lie down back in the bed. I could not, because I was when I went to lie down, it's like the baby push out his foot, like he's saying, no, you're not going back to lie down. And I'm like, what the crap, what is wrong with you? And then I started to feel a little pain, and I'm like, my God, I should not get up and drink the cold water. I feel like maybe I might have a niggling pain because I drink the ice cold water that early morning without drinking any tea. So I sat in the bed there, and I'm like, I sat a few minutes, and I said, okay, I'm just going to lie down. Poor me, I could not lie down. It's like every time I went to lie down on this side, it's like I have to go like this, because it seemed like the child is telling me, you're not going to go back to sleep because I'm ready to come. And I'm like, start to talk to myself. I'm like, listen, me man, I want to sleep. I want to sleep. And then I sat there in the bed like this, and I'm like, I really want to go back to sleep, and I could not go back to sleep because this child wasn't letting me going back to sleep. And I was starting to feel a little pain, but it was not sharp. So I go on this side now and said I'm going to lie down on this side. And I have to get back up because he was determined that I was not going back to sleep. And I was like, I need to get some sleep, boy. I just need to get some sleep. Anyway, I sat in the bed for maybe 10 or 20 minutes. I don't remember how long I sat there, but I sat there quite a long time because I couldn't lie down on the left and I couldn't lie down on the right, so I just have to sit down. So I sat down, and when I sat down now, I said, listen, my man, I really need to lie down now. And then I tried to lie down back after that few minutes. And then I realized that I can lie down. So I went and I lied down, and I said, okay, good. And after few minutes, I'm like up again. I'm like, the pain is getting more and more. And I said, no, this is not niggling pain. This is the baby telling me that it's ready. So I said, okay, I am in labor. So when the pain is off, I lie down again. And I realize that the pain is getting more and more intense. And I said to myself that I am not going to the hospital because I don't want to go to the hospital and be staying there a long time. I just want to go to the hospital, and I just want to come back right home. So at that time, my neighbor was near, and in the morning my husband went to work, but we informed our neighbor next door. And I told my neighbor that whenever time I call him, it's time for me to go. And and he prepared himself. So I was there lying down, and the pain was coming more intense. And then my sister came in the room and she was like, yes, yes. And I'm like, girl. And she's like, yes. And she was laughing and I'm like, girl. And then when I couldn't bear the pain anymore, I said, I have to go now, because the more the more the morning is coming out, the more the pain is getting intense. I think it was like 9 or 9:30 or so in that time. Then the pain gets rapidly that I just have to go. So I tell my sister, go tell my neighbor that I am ready. And then she went and tell my neighbor that I was ready to go to the hospital. And then he came for me, and we went to the hospital. And then when we reached at the hospital, I was like licking my finger, because it is more getting stronger. The pain is getting more stronger. I walk one end of the room to the other end of the room, and then I went to one of the nurses and I tell the nurse that I'm in a lot of pain. And she said to me, girl, you're not ready to have any baby. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? And I'm like, And she's telling me that I'm not ready to have a baby, and I'm telling her the pain is all over my body. And I walk one end of the room and I walk the other end just to walk out the pain, and I'm like hitting my hand, and I'm like, oh, and I'm breathing hard, and I'm like, oh. And then there was an elderly nurse there, and she called me and she bring me into the delivery room and said, girl, get your things, you're ready. And I'm like in my mind, then, oh, this girl telling me that I wasn't ready, and I know what I'm feeling, and she's saying that I'm not ready in my mind though. So when I went to when the nurse took me to the labor room, I sat there. I lied down there rather, and after a change and everything and so on, and I lied down, and then she said to push. And then, the pain was the pain was terrible. And then one of the times she left me and went somewhere in another room, and I don't know, but there was this doctor there. There was a male doctor, and he sat at the entrance of the room. I don't know if it's the nurse told him to stay there and watch me or what, but he was looking, and I'm like, I could not close my legs, and I'm like, I was so embarrassed, and I'm like, why this man turn up staring at me like this? And I was like, like you're in your mind, you're trying to cover yourself, but you couldn't even cover yourself because you're having a baby and you cannot do anything. You just have to have your baby. And I was like, oh my God, this man standing up looking. Anyway, the nurse came back in the room, and trust me, she was wonderful. I have a nice nurse when I was having my experience with my son, and she do what she has to do with my tummy, and she tell me when to push, and the pain was so intense, but yet the baby came fast. And then when my baby was born, I was looking at him, I'm like, what? His face seemed as if it was a box. I don't know if he squeezed up or what, but I was like looking at him, I'm like, why is his face like that? But anyway, the nurse cleaned me up, and he took the child and cleaned up the child and have the child in the other, wherever they wash or clean them up, and then having someone pushing me out on a wheelchair, and my mother and my sister was out there waiting for me to come out, and I was like this on the wheelchair because I was tired, and so on, and my mother was like this, and my sister was like this, and both of them was like this, looking at each other like, where's the baby? And I'm like, and then they were like ready to break down because they thought that the baby died because they don't see me coming out with any baby. But I heard that when I was in the labor room, my sister was tear. She was at home, she was laughing her face off. But when I was in theater room, she was crying her eyes out, and my mother was like, oh, they were crying. And then I heard that my husband came because where the room that I was in, that is the window is there. So when he's passing, he said he could hear me, but I didn't think I was. I don't think that I wasn't so loud that he could hear, but he said he hear me. And then my sister was telling me the story that when he heard my voice, he went like the went back straight to work because he couldn't bear to hear me. He couldn't bear hearing me crying, so he went back home. Went back to work. And then after that, when they wheeled me off with the wheelchair, and then when my mother and my sister looking at each other like, where's the baby? And I'm like, oh, the baby is back there, they soon carry him home. It's like a relief. They were like, oh. And then when they carried my son, it was a joy. It was like, wow. But the funniest thing, I'm telling you, the experience is like, trust me, I want to tell the men, all the men out there, when their woman is having a child, it is not an easy road at all. It's like life and death. So I would advise all fathers to take care of your woman, trust me, because having a child, oh my God, that little passageway, God is so good. God is so merciful to let that little passageway open way for that child to come on out into this world. It is not easy, trust me. It is not easy. Oh my God. Those pain, you feel like you feel pain all over your body until the child come. And then one of the time, when you have baby in the hospital, it's like sometimes you're hearing like this baby is missing and that baby is missing. I always leave my child with like a mother who has not yet have a child. So look at my child, I soon come. So when I have my son now, I need to use the bathroom. I need to wee. So I was in a hurry to go to the bathroom and to come back because I don't want no one to take my baby away. So when I was I was there trying to race go to the bathroom, and trust me, when I can speak for myself, I was racing to the bathroom and I could not even race. I have to slow it down and walk, take a little time and walk to the bathroom. That time I really need to use the bathroom, but I couldn't run. And when I finally reached the bathroom, I like trying to make it and pee, and I couldn't even make it, even though I needed to pee that much. I couldn't pee that much. I have to like pss, 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 because I don't know how to explain the situation. It's not like when it's not like normal when you're having, like you're peeing. It's like you just have a opening, and then it seems like there's a lot of it is so tender, you can't even pee straight. You have to like take it easy. That's how you have to just let out the pee just a little bit. just a little bit at a time. And it's like my mind is like, hurry up, man, you need to go back to your child, hurry up and do what you're doing. And I'm just there taking my time, and then I'm trying to hurry up and come back, and I still could. I have to hold my belly and try see if I can move my body fast to go back, but I have to take my time and walk back. And but before I went to the bathroom, when I come off the bed, I was so embarrassed. I have on those sanitary pads, but when I step off the bed to go to the bathroom, when I look at the floor, it seems as if I don't have on any, because it's just flooding down, as if when you're turning on a pipe knob, it is just flowing with blood. I'm like, what? And one of the person who clean up the place, one of the person that cleaned the place, she said, don't worry yourself, I understand, but I want to help her to clean up that mess because it was a lot. One of the janitor, yes, she said, don't worry about it, I will clean it up. But I was so embarrassed, even though I could not help myself, and it wasn't like my fault. It wasn't like that I didn't have on anything, but it was so flooded, and I was so embarrassed. But she said I should not be embarrassed. It's just a woman thing, which I know it was a woman thing, and I know I couldn't do any better than what I'm doing. But I was so embarrassed to see that, I'm making a lot of mess right there, and I just have to go to the bathroom and clean up myself. Man, it is a rough road, but it was so wonderful. And then after work, my husband came back when he heard that the baby was born, because he could not manage to know that I was in so much pain. But when he came back, he was like, as I said in part one with my first child, anyone could know who was the father, because his smile went way up here. And he was so happy that he got another child, which was a boy this time. And I was so happy too, having my son. It was an experience. Trust me, it was an experience to remember. But I am so happy that everything went out okay. So, what do you think? Tell me your experience of having your first child. I would like to share your views and thoughts with me, and let me hear your experience. I tell you my experience. Now it's your time to tell me your experience of when you're having a child, when you're having your first child rather. Anyway, take care of yourself. This is Phoebe Didi speaking to you. Peace out.